Who would you guys say is the most dominant athlete or are the most dominant athletes in sports today?
Tiger Woods, Michael Phelps.
LeBron James.
Kobe Bryant.
Usain Bolt.
But I got a guy who's not a household name, but he is as dominant, if not more dominant, than any athlete in any sport. He's been breaking records, breaking barriers, and making history since he was a little boy.
I know who you're talking about. My son has his poster on the wall.
All right.
I mean, with that generation,
So he is
this
a
guy
household
counts.
name in Tyler Perry's house.
That's right.
Okay.
James Bubba Stewart, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
This is a guy who makes his living on the dirt. He's the fastest man on two wheels.
I don't ride with fear. Nobody can go around that track faster than I can.
James Stewart is showing no signs of letting up.
I want to win.
Are you the most dominant performer in any sport?
Yeah.
In the 85-year history of motocross, no one has ever seen anything like James Stewart.
James Stewart seems to be from another world.
James Stewart is the fastest supercross rider on the planet.
He's an 11-time amateur champion, youngest supercross champion, winner of 40 of his last 46 races, and the first African American to win a major motorsports championship. The 23-year-old Stewart is often compared to another dominant, groundbreaking athlete. And just like Tiger Woods, the driving force behind Stewart's success is his father.
My dad used to race when I was younger, so he didn't put a basketball in front of me. He put a motorcycle.
The day that James came home from the hospital, before I ever took him in the house, I crunk up my KX250 and I give him a ride on the bike. He was 3 days old, and I kind of eased off the clutch and took off, and then I was one-handed holding him and riding the bike.
Stewart grew up in an all-black neighborhood in Winter Haven, Florida. His father worked at a packaging plant. His mother at a fast food restaurant. Stewart's parents bought him his first motorbike when he was 4 for Christmas. Father and son would often race at the all-white motocross track a few towns over.
He would come home from school and he would get on that bike and he would ride it and he'd ride it to dark. I would have to make him get off of it. I said, why are you riding so much? I gotta beat those guys. I gotta practice. And that's what he did.
To support his son's passion, Stewart's father would work 70 hours a week on the graveyard shift, so he and his son could ride in the afternoon. To help pay for used racing gear, track fees, and fuel, James Sr. resorted to collecting bottles and cans for extra money.
My dad always wanted to be, a superstar at racing. That was something he loved to do. But when I got started, we couldn't afford to race, so he had to pick and choose. And, he chose to take his son and make him.
Young James Stewart Jr., a rider we're seeing and hearing from more and more lately.
Was there any tight times out there for you, partner?
No.
What are you going to do the third moto?
Win it.
While his son was breaking records as an amateur, James Sr. says he shielded him from the reality that they weren't always welcome in a predominantly white sport.
I faced a lot. I remember we went to this track up in Alabama. The guy looked at me and he said, we don't race niggers here. And I said, good, because I come here to race a motorcycle. James, he was little. He said, Dad, what'd that man say? I said, don't worry about it, son. It's all good. Let's go ahead and kick that butt and we go home.
It didn't hit me until my first year in pro that I was different from everybody else. If you would ask me, I probably said I was white. People would boo me, for getting second and, cheer the third place guy. You know, it didn't register to me that I'm black and they're white. And I never paid attention because at the end of the day, I was just trying to beat them.
But at a race in 2007, Stewart couldn't ignore the racist taunts of some spectators.
We was up in, state up north, and, I hear people call me N-word. They was hanging over the fence, flicking me off every time I came around the track. Every lap I would come through and give him the thumbs up, he would get even more pissed off and hang over the fence and flick me off even more. I didn't care.
Was there any part of you that was hurt by hearing that?
I feel like me getting mad at them and me doing something to them that's what they want. So for me to give them the thumbs up, it showed that I'm a bigger person, and to me, you don't even matter.
But it's not only Stewart's race that makes him stand out, it's the way he races.
I get scared every time I race. I get on the gate, I freak out, I'm scared, I hate doing this, I don't want to do this. Every time we start a motorcycle, I say again, this is what I love to do. This is why I come here, this is why I train, because I love to have this feeling, that scared feeling of not knowing what's going to happen. I guess in a sense, I'm so afraid of losing that I scare myself to win.
He is shot out of that starting gate like a bullet out of a gun.
Well, it looks like James Stewart has blown everyone away here.
Triple, triple, triple. How good is this guy?
James is the fastest guy, for sure, that's ever raced a motocross bike.
Ricky Carmichael is widely considered the greatest motocross rider of all time. Carmichael competed against Stewart before retiring in 2007 and says that Stewart takes risks most other riders don't.
It would scare me because he's just going so fast. There's so many races he could have won just by backing it off, but I don't think he cares.
I'm just willing to push it to the edge. I said it before and I said it again, I'll die trying to win.
Stewart's aggressive style has led either to dominating victories or spectacular falls. Almost 99% of the time Stewart races, he wins or crashes. An all-out approach that has sent Stewart to the hospital with 7 concussions and a broken arm, leg, collarbone, and wrist.
Oh! James Stewart has just launched off his bike. This is an absolute disaster.
Every time I get hurt, I'm like, man, I don't want to do this anymore, but I still come back.
In 2008, just 3 months after tearing his left ACL, Stewart returned to racing and became only the second rider to complete a perfect motocross season when he won all 24 races.
A perfect 24 motos and 24 wins.
We're at a point now that I never even dreamed of being.
James Sr. doesn't have to collect bottles and cans anymore. Today, he maintains the family's private motocross track on his son's 100-acre estate in Central Florida. Counting his prize money and major endorsement deals, Stewart says that last year alone, he made $10 million.
Racing pays good. I mean, racing pays
you good.
Racing pays good. Winning pays good. Winning pays good, I tell you that. And I don't feel bad of anything I've ever done. The $10 million, whatever it is, I don't care because I know where I came from. I earned every penny of that. And for me, it's been good. I've been blessed to be in a situation where I can earn this, and I like it.
Although Stewart is more successful than he ever imagined, changing the complexion of his sport may be his greatest achievement.
Definitely, I see a lot more black people come to the races, a lot more than it was in the past, and I see a lot more kids just trying to race and stuff, so I feel like I had an impact that way.
It's James Stewart.
Want me to sign, buddy?
He's got 2 heroes, and Mickey Mouse is one, and you're the other. So.
James, being African American, I mean, it brought in a whole slew of different people. It's positive for our sport. It's huge for our sport. He's broken down the walls.
And I think it's important for me to tell my story that, man, you can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter what color or race. I feel like I'm a living example of that.
Michael, how is Stewart doing this season?
He crashed a couple of times early on, and it really put him in jeopardy of not being able to contend for the Supercross championship, but he's rallied to take the overall points lead, and he should claim the 2009 Supercross championship.
Still to come on E60, The Onion is back, breaking big news on the New York Giants.
Touchdown, Giants!
And he is a fashion faux pas.
This is brutal.
She is a model and cover girl. Maria Sharapova, a makeover for the NFL's #1 pick. Next.